Morning world. It's blimey, what day is it? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday the 30th of May 2018. It's about 9:30 in the morning UK time. The moon is void all day today. It's more than a 24-hour void moon. It went void around about 7 this morning UK time. It's going to stay void till about the same time tomorrow morning. It's one of those few long void moons. The reason it's void is because the moon's in Sagittarius. It's not hitting the sun. It's past the full moon, so the transit to the sun is finished. It's not hitting Venus because Venus is in Cancer. Mercury's at the very start of Gemini, so that's not being aspected. Mars is at the start of Aquarius. Jupiter's in Scorpio, which the moon in Sagittarius isn't affecting. Saturn and Pluto are in Capricorn, which the moon isn't touching. Neptune's in mid-Pisces, which the moon has just passed aspecting. So there's no new aspects from the moon until it moves into Scorpio in about 20 until it moves into Capricorn, in about 24 hours time. So today is a void moon all day. Time to do the filing, time to do the cleaning, the ironing, the washing, everything that needs to be done at the daily routine level. Don't make major changes, of course. Don't do anything that's out of the norm. It won't work out the way you expect. It might work better, will probably work worse. Okay, here's my take on the Sun-Uranus aspects. Interesting combination here because the Sun is very much around identity and individuality, whereas Uranus is very much around independence, freedom, liberty, and one's sense of uniqueness. The Sun rules Leo, Uranus is strong in Aquarius, the opposite sign. They do complement each other here in a weird way. When the Sun in the horoscope is opposite Uranus in the birth chart, here you find the true radical, the unconventional, the rebel, sometimes the anarchist. This is the person who will always do things in a very different way to everyone else. Not for them, 2.2 kids, mortgage, car, job. Not for them, the routine of the daily grind. They'll always do things in a different, more innovative, unusual, and sometimes rebellious way. They'll take chances. Some of them will take risks. They often get a lot of bumps and bangs and bruises, but that's par for the course with Sun opposite Uranus. Sun opposite Uranus people will also come across as being very unusual. They think outside the box, and they always get different ideas and belief systems to others. Sun in conjunct Uranus is actually really difficult. It's a frustration between the desire and the need sometimes for a relatively conventional, orthodox, mundane existence, bringing the money in, putting the food on the table, and then the desire to break free and do things in a way that is not accountable to anyone else. Sun in conjunct Uranus is the archetypal frustration, niggle, and impatience with oneself when you can't be as liberated as you know you want to be. Sun trine Uranus is a lovely aspect. People born with the Sun trine Uranus naturally flow in ways that are innovative and original. They're quite comfortable with doing things in an alternative way. They're always looking outside of the norm for answers, and they always find them, and yet it works. This creates a sense of unusual unity. It brings a sense of innovation and novelty into the work. And Sun trine Uranus people always come up with unusual solutions to old problems in a way that endears them to others and makes them seem popular, if somewhat strange and quirky. Sun square Uranus is difficult. If you're born with the Sun square Uranus, you've struggled much of your life until at least 42 years old to find some type of, not rut, but slot in life. Uranus has an 84-year orbit. So it's only after 42, when it's completed halfway round the sky, that you can find your own niche. Sun square Uranus people feel like a fish out of water a lot of the time. They don't fit into normal, conventional society, and they wouldn't want to. They have a morbid fear of being boring. They can't do boredom at all. They'll always be the person who will do something different that makes them stand out. They'll always be the round peg in a square hole. They don't really do group and community unless the group and community is as wacky and offbeat as them. Because I quote here Groucho Marx, I wouldn't belong to any club that would have me as a member. There you've got Sun square Uranus. They only work with people who are as unusual and different and stimulating as them. Sun sextile Uranus are the people who come up with unusual ideas, new and novel, stimulating ways of seeing the world and expressing themselves. They're always going to be a whiz with new technology, especially digital and computer technology. They're futurist, and they're always looking towards the future for answers. They're certainly not traditionalists, and you don't see them stepping backwards. Sun conjunct Uranus people, well, you can guarantee that they're never going to be normal. They're not normal. They're not abnormal, but they're different. Not better or worse, different. And the more they try and be conventional, the more they screw up. Sun conjunct Uranus people, if I were employing them, I'd be using them as problem solver, troubleshooter, someone who thinks outside the box, comes up with unusual solutions to old problems, sees round corners, and has an unusual relationship with time. In fact, all Sun-Uranus contacts have an unusual relationship with time. Sometimes an hour will pass in 2 seconds. Other times, 10 minutes will seem like 3 hours. And time doesn't work normally around these people. And all of them seem to have an unusual attraction to static electric shocks. Many of them will go through periods in their lives where all of a sudden they get lots and lots of short, sharp, static electric shocks off of computers, shopping trolleys, televisions, cats. What I found is that if these people were to wear or carry a little piece of amber, then 50% of these shocks would decrease. Now, why this works, I don't know. But it's interesting that amber is one of the very, very few things on this planet that is neither carbon nor silicon. When you look at Uranus, the planet, remember, every other planet spins on its axis east to west. Uranus doesn't. All the other planets go like that. Uranus goes like that, north to south. One of Uranus's moons goes the other way compared to all the rest of its moons. It has rings of electricity around it. Uranus is covered in a bright blue, electrical blue methane fog, which is why many Aquarians or people with a lot of Aquarius really look good when they wear that light electric blue. Uranus is different. It's always been the unusual, the radical, the rebellious, but also the stimulating, the innovative, and the libertarian. Remember, when Uranus was discovered, it was the time of the French and the American Revolution. And some of the best keywords for Uranus are independence, freedom, and liberty. So if you're a Sun-Uranus person, or your best friends are, don't try and be normal. It doesn't work. Live to your difference. It's what makes you a unique, talented, and gifted individual. Catch you later, world. Bye.